Welcome. Today we are diving deep into a really strange and powerful story that's playing out right now in the silver market. It's a story about illusion, about unbelievable wealth, and a secret that ties the world of high finance directly to the future of artificial intelligence.
So let me ask you, does silver look a little boring right now? I mean, the price seems kind of stuck, doesn't it? For the average person, it looks like absolutely nothing is happening. But listen, this isn't boredom. This is loading. And what's going on just under the surface could literally change everything. This slide pretty much tells the entire story. On the surface, what do you see? A flat, boring price. But underneath all that, it is an absolute war zone. We're talking billions of dollars in volume being thrown around, but the price just won't budge. Why? Because there is a massive hidden buyer just soaking up every single sale. Okay, let's really get into this, because what you're seeing is not some random market quirk. This apparent boredom, it's a carefully crafted illusion. It's been designed by someone or something with a very, very specific goal in mind.
What we're witnessing is the arrival of what you could call a mega whale. And look, this isn't some hedge fund just trying to make a quick profit. No, this is a strategic buyer with pockets so incredibly deep, they can absorb the entire global supply of silver and not even break a sweat.
So, how in the world do you find this whale? You can't see them directly, right? But you can see their footprints. You hunt them by analyzing their methods, and their weapon of choice is one of the most powerful tools in all of finance.
And that weapon is the iceberg order. It is an absolutely genius piece of financial engineering designed for one single purpose: to let huge institutions buy enormous positions without ever causing a price spike. It lets them hide their true intentions in plain sight. So here's how it works. A tiny order, let's say for just 5 contracts, is all that's visible to the market. But what you don't see is the monster order for 50,000 contracts hidden right underneath it. So sellers hit that 5 contract order and boom, it instantly reloads. They sell another 5 and it reloads again. The price goes absolutely nowhere, but the volume meter, it's spinning like a turbine as this whale quietly sucks up everything in sight. Now, this kind of buying power is just immense. It's on a whole other level, which of course raises the obvious question, who is it? You know, the usual suspects would be the big banks or some massive hedge fund. But when you actually look at the forensic evidence, they just don't fit the profile. All right, let's play detective and follow the evidence. Clue number 1 is timing. The buying is algorithmic, it's relentless, 24/7. That rules out banks, which mostly operate during specific hours. Clue number 2, the physicals. The premiums you have to pay to get your hands on actual physical silver bars are going up. That means this buyer isn't just playing with paper contracts. They are taking delivery of the real metal. And the final clue, the big one, is correlation. Silver is now moving with AI stocks and copper, not gold. This tells us it's not a financial play, it's an industrial one. So if it's not a bank, who could it possibly be? Well, all the evidence points to the most powerful industry on Earth. An industry that has just woken up to the fact that it has a massive, massive energy crisis on its hands. Big tech and the AI revolution. You have to understand, this is the core of their problem. AI doesn't just run on code, it breathes electricity. A single AI query can use up to 30 times more energy than a simple Google search. And as these AI models get smarter and more powerful, their appetite for energy is growing exponentially. And this creates a straight-up existential crisis for them. The US power grid is already creaking at the seams, it's pretty much maxed out. On top of that, these tech giants have made very public promises to be carbon neutral, so they can't just go and build a bunch of coal plants. They have the world-changing software, but they don't have the power to run it. Their only option? They have to build their own private energy grids. And when you factor in all of their constraints, there is really only one scalable, reliable, carbon-free energy source that they can build out fast enough: massive gigawatt-scale solar farms. And here it is. This is the critical link. You simply cannot build the kind of high-efficiency solar panels you need to power the AI revolution without silver. The purely digital economy has just run headfirst into a very real, very physical bottleneck. So what happens when a brand new buyer with, let's be honest, $100 billion war chest enters a relatively small market like silver, and they need the metal not to trade, but to actually survive? Well,
You get a supply squeeze of historic proportions.
I mean, just look at the market before AI even entered the picture. It was already tight, with half of all silver produced going straight to industrial use. Now imagine a new player walking into that room, needing to secure hundreds of millions of ounces just for themselves.
That metal has to come from somewhere, right? The silver market is a zero-sum game. When a new buyer comes in and says, I need an extra 200 million ounces a year, they start crowding out all the existing players. That new supply has to be taken from someone else.
And this kicks off a bidding war, but not between speculators. Oh no. This is a war between big tech, who needs silver for their AI data centers to function, and the military and medical industries, who also must have it, no matter the price. And the folks who buy silver for jewelry and investment, they simply get priced out of the market entirely.
But here's the thing. The whale's iceberg order can't last forever. I mean, eventually the sellers are going to run out. Eventually the accumulation program will be complete. So what happens in that exact moment when the whale is finally full and removes that massive buy order?
The price enters what you can only describe as a vacuum. If you look at history, silver has spent almost no time trading in these upper price ranges. And that means there's no overhead supply, there's no one sitting there waiting to sell, there is zero resistance. It is a total air pocket, and the chart.
In a vacuum like this, even a tiny amount of buy-in can create a massive amount of upward price movement. As the source material so vividly puts it, the price doesn't just tick up, it teleports.
So what's the big takeaway here? The strategy is actually pretty simple. You draft behind the whale. Don't let that flat price bore you into selling your position. That is exactly what they want you to do. Use their giant buy wall as your floor. And keep your eyes glued to the volume. As long as the volume is high, they're still buying. When it finally dries up, you know the real move is about to begin. We've spent this entire time analyzing the quiet, boring part of this whole story. But you have to remember, this accumulation phase is just the prelude. The explosive markup phase, that's what comes next. So let's just recap. We have massive, secret accumulation happening, and it's being driven by the unstoppable energy needs of AI. The whale is almost full, the price vacuum is opening up. The only real question left is, what's your move? This story is still playing out, and to see what happens next, make sure you're subscribed.